Welcome back to Built by Machines, where we uncover the incredible systems behind the everyday things we often take for granted. Today, we're heading into the heart of industrial pasta production to discover how millions of spaghetti noodles are crafted with astonishing speed and precision. From golden durum wheat to perfectly packed pasta, this is the jaw-dropping process of how spaghetti is made, inside one of the world's most sophisticated spaghetti factories. Every strand of spaghetti begins in a wheat field, but not just any wheat. The process starts with durum wheat, a hard, dense variety that's higher in protein and gluten than the typical wheat used for bread. At the mill, the harvested durum wheat undergoes cleaning where air sifters, magnets, and screens remove dust, husks, stones, and even stray metal. Clean grain then enters tempering tanks where it's moistened slightly to make the outer bran easier to remove. The wheat is ground in a roller mill, a series of steel rollers that crush the grain gradually, separating the endosperm from the bran and germ. The result is semolina, a gritty golden flour with a coarser texture and slightly yellow hue. This is the key ingredient in most dry pasta, especially spaghetti. The semolina is then stored in enormous silos, kept under tightly controlled conditions to avoid any moisture buildup, pests, or contamination. From here, it's ready for transformation. In the production facility, the semolina is automatically conveyed from the silo into industrial mixing tanks. These mixers are large, stainless steel vats equipped with rotating blades or paddles. The semolina is combined with purified water, typically around 28 to 32% of the total mass. The water is often chilled to control dough temperature and slow enzymatic activity that could affect pasta quality. Interestingly, the dough at this stage doesn't look like traditional bread or cookie dough. It's more like damp, sandy crumbs, deliberately undermixed to preserve the granular texture. This specific consistency ensures an even extrusion and a better final noodle structure. The mixture is then transferred to a vacuum mixing chamber where the air is removed. This prevents unwanted bubbles or air pockets in the pasta, which could cause structural weaknesses or discoloration. Next comes extrusion, the mechanical miracle that gives spaghetti its shape. The dough is pushed into a horizontal extruder, which resembles a giant steel tube with rotating augers inside. These screws compress the dough forward while generating just enough heat to make the mass pliable, but not enough to cook it. At the end of the extruder is a die, a precision-engineered metal plate with hundreds or even thousands of pinhole-sized openings. As the dough is forced through, it emerges in long, continuous spaghetti strands. The die itself is crucial. Bronze dies produce a rougher surface, helping sauce stick better, a feature prized in traditional Italian pasta. Teflon-coated dies, on the other hand, make the noodles smoother and shinier, preferred for mass-market production. Once the strands emerge, a high-speed rotating blade trims them to uniform lengths, typically between 25 and 30 centimeters. These noodles are extremely delicate at this point, soft, sticky, and prone to deformation. To protect them, they are laid across metal rods or moving belts, sometimes lifted gently by robotic arms, and spaced perfectly to avoid clumping. Now the spaghetti enters what's arguably the most sensitive phase, drying. This step isn't about simply removing moisture, it's a carefully controlled chemical transformation. Initially, the noodles go through pre-drying chambers where warm, humid air is circulated. The goal here is to toughen the surface slightly without forming a dry crust. If the outside dries too quickly, it can trap internal moisture, leading to cracks, warping, or spoilage later on. After pre-drying, the spaghetti is moved, either vertically hanging from rods or lying flat in trays, into massive drying tunnels. These tunnels can be over 30 meters long and contain multiple climate zones. Temperature, airflow, and humidity are adjusted in real time by sensors and algorithms to ensure uniform drying. The process can last anywhere from 6 to 24 hours, depending on the factory and product. By the end of drying, the moisture content of the spaghetti has dropped from around 30% to just 12%, low enough to preserve shelf life for over 2 years without refrigeration. Before packaging, the spaghetti needs to rest. This step is known as tempering. It's stored in climate-controlled areas for several hours to allow internal stresses from drying to equalize. Skipping tempering would make the pasta too brittle. By slowly cooling and stabilizing it, The factory ensures each strand can survive packaging and shipping without snapping. Once conditioned, the spaghetti is cut to final retail size. If it was dried in long strands, specialized cutters trim it precisely, often to the 25-centimeter standard. Factories often maintain tight tolerances, plus or minus 1 millimeter. Next, automated portioning systems measure out exact quantities, usually 500 grams or 1 kilogram, and guide the pasta into packaging units using gentle vibratory conveyors. This helps ensure the fragile noodles aren't broken during handling. Packaging machines wrap the pasta in plastic film or cardboard boxes. These machines vacuum out excess air, seal the packaging with heat, and apply labels and batch codes. Each unit passes through a metal detector and weight checker, ensuring no foreign objects are present and that every package is accurate. High-volume factories use robotic arms to load these sealed packs into cartons and stack them onto pallets. Some lines can produce over 6,000 packages per hour, destined for supermarkets, restaurants, and homes around the world. Throughout every stage, rigorous quality control is applied. Technicians check the dough's moisture content, the temperature and humidity during drying, and the texture of the finished pasta. Lab samples are boiled daily to ensure proper cooking time, color, and mouthfeel. Microscopic inspections even check the uniformity of the pasta's internal structure, looking for voids or cracks. If a batch doesn't meet the standard, it's pulled, investigated, and either corrected or discarded. The level of detail is astounding, all for a product that often sells for just a few dollars. So next time you boil a pot of spaghetti, remember, those noodles came from an orchestra of machines, blending tradition with technology, flour with precision, and engineering with appetite. From wheat fields to factory floors, spaghetti is more than a meal. It's a marvel of industrial food production. This is the story of spaghetti, built by machines. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Built by Machines for more behind-the-scenes looks at how the world really works.